Right, good evening everyone. My name is Ashley Baxter. I am the founder of Monty Compost Co. I am an alumni of University of Queensland, but more importantly, I'm an alum of this very pitch night, all the way back in 2019, almost 5 years ago. I was on this very stage, pitching my little heart out, so it's kind of a full circle moment for me. I'm absolutely honoured that I'll get to be your MC for this evening, and I'm delighted to officially kick off the 2024 ilab Accelerator Pitch Night. So we've got an amazing event, but a few formalities first. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners and their custodianship of the lands on which we stand and work. We pay respect to elders, past, present, and emerging, who continue cultural and spiritual connections to country. We recognise the important role Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people continue to play within our community and their valuable contributions to Australian and global society. Disclaimer, this event is being held for the purpose of showcasing startups that are completing the ilab Accelerator program and not for the purpose of seeking funding, capital or investment, so please read the full disclaimer on the venture's website. A few housekeeping items. Exits are under all the green signs. For those of you on the floor level, the bathrooms are to your left. For those of you upstairs, they're just back behind the exit behind you. If you have any questions through the evening, please just come to one of the lovely Ventures team, black shirt, white benches, and they'll be happy to help you out. So, after all the pitching, that's going to be very exciting, we'll be moving to the courtyard area outside where you'll have your opportunity to mingle and ask all your burning questions, like that one right there. We would, of course, love you to share throughout the evening to your social media platforms, get some buzz around the event, around the organisation, and most importantly for our founders. And if you do so, please use the hashtag ilab2024. So, formalities aside, let's get into the main event. To kick things off with the welcome address, please welcome the one and only Professor Deborah Terry, AC, Vice Chancellor, and the President of the University of Queensland.
Well, thank you very much, Ashley, and wonderful to be here, and what a great place to be hosting this wonderful event. Can I too acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we're meeting here today and pay our respects and our thanks to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge Nimrod Clayman and the entire UQ Ventures team. This year's judges up the back there, Andrew Barnes, co-CEO and co-founder of Go1, Vanessa Garrard, entrepreneur, chair, non-executive director and mentor, Alex Harper, CEO and co-founder of SwiftX. I'd also like to acknowledge everyone who's here today from UQ's broader entrepreneurship ecosystem, including government representatives, investors, alumni, staff and students. But most importantly, welcome one and all to the UQ Ventures ilab Accelerator Pitch Night for 2024. Now, this event is a great opportunity to celebrate the bold and inventive startups emerging from our UQ community and from across Queensland. The 10 startups we'll hear from tonight are responding to some of the most pressing global challenges of our time. The business founders behind them are from diverse disciplines and backgrounds, and each has followed a unique pathway to get here. There is no template, but what they have in common is ambition. Even though their journeys have just begun, the startups we're about to hear from have already made more than $2 million in sales between them. A simple but clear way of expressing the extraordinary potential that we'll have the privilege of observing this evening. Now, UQ's vision is knowledge leadership for a better world. And that means we have an obligation to do more than just give our future business leaders and innovators a pat on the back when they're successful. We're determined to give them as much practical support as we can to go out into the world and make a genuine difference. UQ's Accelerator and Incubator programs have been investing in startups and social enterprises for more than a decade, with some breathtaking successes. And we have a great example of one of those tonight. One of our ilab alumni, Andrew Barnes, is on the judging panel. Andrew, as I said, is co-founder of Go1, a local unicorn worth more than $2 billion. And Andrew is an example of the tremendous potential that may be in this room tonight, and that potential is why the ilab Accelerator is partnering with UniQuest, UQ's commercialisation arm, to help startups take their ideas to that next level by investing $10,000 in each of them to help them get started. ilab was instigated by the Queensland Government 24 years ago as a business incubator supporting early-stage high-tech companies. It's since found a home at UQ Ventures, the arm of UQ that encourages entrepreneurship, and UQ Ventures is itself a remarkable success story. It recently became one of 5 government-backed accelerators to receive a slice of the QIC's $130 million venture capital development fund, which is backing Queensland startups. Part of UQ Ventures' great success is its capacity to adapt, and we all have to adapt in the world in which we're living. We regularly tweak our programs to take advantage of new opportunities. Ventures Empower, for example, is now in its 2nd year, helping women in the early stages of founding their businesses by giving them the knowledge, the networks and the confidence to achieve their goals. And for those at the very start of their entrepreneurship journey, we have Startup Adventures, which are fully funded internship programs in some of the world's leading startup hotspots. So one of the lessons tonight is that if you do have a great idea for a business, there's no shortage of support, and there's no excuse for not giving it a go. At UQ, we're deeply committed to investing in innovation, in game-changing technologies, and in the people that create them. And as we know, we're part of a much larger ecosystem involving the entire state, building layer upon layer of support for Queensland researchers, innovators and businesses. So I'd like to thank our Head of Entrepreneurship, Nimrod Clayman, Program Manager Tyson Jennings, the entrepreneurs in residence and the entire Ventures team for their vision and their leadership. Thank you also to the Global Partnerships team for helping to deliver these wonderful pitch nights, and I'm now going to hand back to Ashley to get the show on the road. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Terry. So I know you're all so keen to hear from our amazing startups, but just a few more little things. Now, as Professor Terry mentioned, we have an amazing panel of experts with us this evening. Just going to give each one of them a very nice thank you. Andrew Barnes, co-CEO and co-founder of Go1. We also have Vanessa Garrard, entrepreneur, chair, non-exec director and mentor. And finally, Alex Harper, CEO and co-founder at SwiftX. So these absolute legends at the end of pitching tonight will be judging each of the founding teams and will be determining a first, second and third prize. Third place will have an investment offer of $10,000, second of $15,000, and first place team will get an investment offer of $25,000 walking around, which is very exciting for them, and we want to thank you so much to our experts for giving up their time this evening to be here. So thanks again, guys. Now, the rest of you amazing people will also have the chance to have your say. When you came in and received your name badge, you would have also received a little Ventures token. So when you are networking, mingling with the startups, learning more about them, each table will have a little voting box where you can cast your token. With the different teams, they will share in a pool of $10,000 for whoever gets the different votes, which is an amazing opportunity for them on top of those prizes. I would like a last thank you for you guys, for our donors of that People's Choice Award, who are Jason and Tanya Tittman and Daniel Wessels, who contributed to that pool. So thank you once again. So that is all the formalities out of the way, and I'm sure you're just as excited as me to get into the pitches. I remember when I was up here, I was the first pitch as well, so I am excited to introduce our first one to you. Now, on the side, Kelrick is a scuba diving poet who, unlike all the other kids who were selling lemonade, he was out there selling ugly mangoes as his first entrepreneurial journey. So I'd like you to give a massive hand to our first founder of the night, pitching Flashback. Here's to Kelrick.
Hi, my name is Kelrick Mullen, and this is my face after $80,000 of pre-orders in just 13 minutes. Here's another photo. Sweaty, backpacking through Thailand with my best mate. Less glamorous, but this one's actually a whole lot more meaningful to me. Unfortunately, the average Gen Z camera roll looks something like this. We take the same photo so many times just to show it off on Instagram. Perfect often overshadows meaningful, and those photos just don't feel so special anymore. I first became aware of this issue when I noticed my friends using disposable film cameras. They said it was an escape from taking manicured photos on their phones. The product is single use, but Gen Z enjoys the experience so much that they're willing to walk down to a film shop and pay actual money to develop their photos. I saw an opportunity to make this better. So, we built a camera. We took the experience that people love. It winds up, it flashes, it only takes 27 photos at a time. But it's reusable, rechargeable, and your photos develop after 24 hours in an app on your phone. This makes us the only camera with the tactile experience of a disposable film camera, but the connectivity of the modern world. There are 25 million disposable cameras sold every year. Our goal is 5 million flashback cameras in the next 5 years. Now, let me get back to my story. Just 9 months after our launch, $1.1 million in sales. But we haven't just sold a bunch of widgets. Since January 1st, our customers have captured 750,000 photos. Did anyone drive past the Gabba on the way here? Because if we took these photos, printed them out, and laid them across the playing field, it would look like this. So, what's next? We're doubling down on the direct-to-consumer market. We've already built a community through organic content marketing. Expanding out, we'll implement more traditional e-commerce strategies and prioritize customer advocacy in our product roadmap. Our target, 100,000 cameras in the next 12 months. Now, for our ask tonight, Flashback wants to win the People's Choice vote. So if you like what we're doing here, please vote for us. And if you want to be a part of it, come and see us after the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
What an amazing first pitch. That was fantastic, Kelrick. So we are going to get some questions from the judges, and if we can get your co-founder, Mac, on stage with us. Alright, so throwing it over to the judges. Let's start with you, Andrew. I see you reaching for the mic.
I was trying to invite the more educated judges to go first, but fantastic to see, and I think the visualization of the photos across the Gamma really sort of lands the message. Maybe I'll sort of dive into the weeds a little bit on this question. So it sounds like direct-to-consumer. I assume you're using Facebook, social media platforms to reach those consumers. Do you think CAC is going to stay at $5, or notoriously sort of D2C is hard to scale because the profits are all eaten up by the large social media companies? So I'd love to understand your thoughts there as you sort of go towards that $500 million goal.
Thank you, Andrew. It's an excellent question. I always love to talk about our acquisition strategy and our CAC and how we've gotten it so low. Predominantly, our strategy so far has involved organic marketing. And the real benefit of organic marketing is that the attention in that space is not given to the highest bidder, which, as you pointed out, is often what leads to difficulty in pulling in profits in the direct-to-consumer space. Rather, the merit of the content or how relevant and engaging it is for the audience that it's targeting is usually what determines the outcome. And so the amount of capital that you put into the production of the marketing, the production of the content rather, which is currently something we do ourselves, is usually not the key metric. And so that's how we've been able to keep that CAC so low. I think as we implement other strategies, we do expect it to go up, but with our gross margin on the product currently sitting around 60%, we have a fairly healthy margin to play with. Thank you, Andrew.
Awesome, thanks.
Awesome. All right, Vanessa, you got one for them?
Yeah, mine's more on the IP side. So twofold is the camera itself and then also the software. What part of that do you own?
It's a great question. IP is really important. The camera itself is something that we've developed ourselves. There have been a few contractors involved, but we own 100% of the IP. And when it comes to the software side, I've developed that personally with, again, help from a few contractors, but we own 100% of it. Thank you, Vanessa.
That's the right answer. All right, last but not least, Alex.
Hey guys, thanks for that pitch there. Hey, I think I actually have one of those disposable cameras, as I'm sure most people in this room probably have, and it's sitting undeveloped. So I think I can see that that's clearly a problem for myself. Keep thinking about I'm going to take it down, get it developed, etc. And so I love the way you guys have sort of solving that problem, I guess. Am I the only? Sorry, is there a section of people who use these disposable cameras that are actually still wanting the physical copy, the physical picture? I mean, obviously, I'm not because I'm going to lose it or just never get it developed. But I'm sure there's other people more competent with and want these photo books and stuff as well. So, is that like, are you guys sure you've done sort of your market testing to verify that it is sort of just that sort of disconnected experience that people want versus actually having the physical memorabilia piece?
It's an excellent question as well. I'm really glad you asked this one. What we found when we spoke to owners of film shops and we stood outside the shops and we handed out surveys, things like that, we found that less than half of people were actually getting physical prints and most people were just getting them emailed. So they just wanted the photos on their phone, but they wanted the tactile experience when they were actually taking the photos. And so that's how we designed the product for our, version 1. There has been some demand in our community for a photo printing service, and that's something that we have already scoped out as a potential additional revenue stream. I don't have any numbers for you around that, and at the moment our focus is really just on scaling the hardware side of our business where we're already profitable, and then once we have a larger user base, we think that the photo printing service could be profitable as well. Thank you.
Great start and a great pitch, guys. Let's do it up one more time. Really great job, guys. So now we've got the ice broken with the first pitch. We are moving on to another exciting founder. So So Jamie, the founder of Explainable, is a mechanical engineering grad at UQ and a self-described Queensland country boy from Jandaway? Close enough. In the Darling Downs, and as hard as it sounds to believe, his favourite thing to do in his downtime is code. So let's give it up for Jamie from Explainable for pitch number 2.
According to Google search trends, the term, what is AI, has gone up 1,000% in the last 2 years. But what if I told you over 90% of business executives don't understand how it works? Then what if I told you that we could fix this? And in doing so, we made an ASX 200 listed company $24 million. Hi, I'm Jamie from Explainable. Let me explain. Currently, the problem is that the users that create machine learning models exist in silos. They have years of deep technical expertise, but often struggle to communicate this back to the business. On the other hand, business users, for one, don't know what ML stands for, and those that do ask questions such as, what's the value add? How do I know I can, how long will it take to implement? And most importantly, how do I know I can trust it? This is exactly where we play, Explainable, bridging the gap between business and technical speak. Instead of just providing you with a prediction, we tell you how and why you got that prediction. Now, a reasonable question at this point in time might be, what do I do with it? Well, you can run real-time scenarios, highlighting the prediction breakdown, and at the same time, outlining potential points for optimisation. Apply those optimisations across your full user base, all in real time, and then ultimately integrate back into your business quickly and easily. Oh, and of course, let's not forget, bank the cash associated with optimising your results. Now, I'm incredibly aware that I went through something highly technical in about 20 seconds, and that these are just slides on the screen. But we actually implemented this exact solution for an ASX 200 listed company that was experiencing too much inquiry through their online contact forms. We were able to prioritise the leads, yet at the same time highlight novel insights such as how the length of the inquiry and the user-specific terms directly predicted the customer's likelihood to purchase. This is something that you cannot do with traditional machine learning models. And the outcome? Well, we managed to achieve an incredible 80% increase in conversion, which is equivalent to that $24 million that I opened with. Now, I just wanted to take a moment to pause there and suggest, using Explainable, we almost doubled the number of customers that made a purchase. And since then, we've spoken to over 45 data executives across 7 different domains, undertaken 4 paid pilots, successfully locking in our first 2 enterprise customers, had over 9,000 downloads on our open source Python package, and we're on track to make $200,000 of ARR this year. Explainable is currently available for a freemium model, which allows users to get started immediately, but we also provide the capability to implement directly into your business through a tech-enabled service offering. We're also highly aware that even the smallest amount of code provides too high a barrier of entry to a lot of companies, so over the coming months, we're allowing non-technical users to connect directly to their external data sources. Which naturally brings me to my ask. It's incredibly simple. Clients. Lots and lots of clients. So if you work in healthcare, insurance, financial services, or potentially a university, please scan that QR code and let's create a future where every AI move is exactly that. Explainable.
What an exciting and ethical pitch. I think I welcome our inevitable AI overlords, and that was a fantastic pitch to herald them in. So let's ask a few questions. Maybe this time we'll start with you, Vanessa.
Yeah, I just want to understand the revenue model. I understand it's freemium now. What is the mindset behind that?
Yeah. So it's a freemium model through the Python package. So that's just to try to entice users to actually use the underlying SaaS model. We actually implement it directly into business through a tech-enabled service offering. So with data, it's quite challenging to put it into a format that actually is accessible by ML. So that's what we come in and do. And then ultimately, we charge them through the SaaS platform on top of that.
That's a great question, great answer. Andrew, what about yourself?
Great pitch, thank you for that. You sort of started the sort of pitch with the question of what is AI. I remember when I was doing my undergrad at UQ many, many years ago in economics, we used to call AI regression analysis. So it's great to see that AI is now sort of much more exciting and sort of dressed up in this way. But like, quite seriously, LLMs are amazing. So that probably goes to my question is sort of using this to sort of explain and understand sort of machine language models. Do you think there's an application to explaining large language models with this to sort of bring what is currently sort of in a black box to life and have that sort of traceability through it?
Yeah, very good question. We've actually toyed with that exact idea in regards to talk technical for 2 moments, like putting the embeddings in and trying to explain the output. It's just more of a thought at the moment, and at this point in time, we're solely for structured machine learning as well, so like CSVs, Excel spreadsheets, databases, etc. But that is definitely a future state that we want to really, really get into. Currently, we are using LLMs though as the control piece to basically train the modelling as well, so I can abstract myself out of actually doing the work myself.
So I think we're going to see those two having a really big chat after this. Alex, last question again.
Yeah, lucky last twice in a row. I guess that means I'm first next, so I've got to be ready next one. Yeah, look, thanks for that. I guess one thing you said there that sort of stood out to me was that what you're doing is currently not possible with current, machine learning models and that sort of thing. So are you able to elaborate on what actually is the difference there that you're alluding to?
Absolutely. I was hoping for this question. So about 2.5 years ago, we invented a machine learning algorithm. A couple of ex-UQ students. The core of it is that instead of just getting a number, like with traditional machine learning, you'll go, you're at 60% likelihood risk of churning. We can actually tell you because you're this demographic and you're this age and because you're this other metric, and it actually sums to that value. The best part about it is we can match the best open source models, structured ML models, but also be explainable. There's a few caveats and side effects to that in regards to us being able to host it and the latency being very, very low. But that's the major difference. That it's like it's a take on a GLM, to get very technical for 2 moments.
Great answer. I understood 60% of it, but wasn't that an exciting pitch? Super topical, and I know all you AI fans are going to have some big questions. Thank you so much again, Jamie. All right. We're already on pitch number 3. We've done cameras, we've done AI, and we're taking another pivot, to use the right jargon, with Julia, founder of Act 2. Julia is a high-performing professional, former lawyer, MBA grad, and winner of the Academic Excellence Award. But when she isn't winning awards, she is starting Christmas light fights with her neighbour. So give it up for Julia.
Once upon a time, I left my life as a corporate lawyer on maternity leave. 3 kids later, and after managing the expectations of a highly demanding workforce prone to throwing tantrums, who weren't lawyers, I found myself part of the 43% of women who don't return to their profession after having a child. My maternity leave had become eternity leave, and I was surrounded by a demographic of ambitious but frustrated women on the sidelines of their own lives. I saw her, I knew her, I was her. Fast forward to 2024, and more women than ever want to return to paid employment. Employers, on the other hand, are desperately seeking new ways to attract and retain talent. The problem? The two can't seem to find each other. which left me with a question. How could we leverage technology in a way to untap this potential, to bring skilled women back to the workforce and match them with employers looking to build the talent pipelines of the future? Good evening. My name is Julia. I'm the founder of Act 2, an online community and talent marketplace unleashing female economic potential and profitability. When a woman joins Act 2, she's just 3 clicks away from a community of like-minded comrades and mentors, from access to employers who value her skills, and from the ability to create her own profile, taking control of her career comeback. These women aren't looking on Seek.com. They're not going to traditional recruiters. So we have designed a place where she can become who she wants to be. Careers, not just 9-to-3 play jobs. For our employer partners, this means no more wasted time and money trying to find this underutilised off-market talent. Right now, Act 2 is free for our community. Our employer partners pay a subscription fee to browse, be matched with, or target talent from this previously unavailable pool. So some of you may wonder at this point, is this just a gender-specific recruitment company? We are so much more. We're a powerful network, we're a workforce tool, and we're an employer branding engine all rolled into one. And as the Matildas, the Barbie movie, and our fearless leader Taylor Swift show, female potential is $1 billion opportunity. In just the past few weeks, we have acquired employer partners, including a Fast 100 company. We have commitment from local and national organisations, and our waitlist of employers and inquiries grows every week. So too do pre-registrations in our community. In fact, as part of this, we have a targeted group of over 50 women who've given us their story, their details. They're ready for their second act. And this is just the beginning. We plan to launch nationally within the next 6 months and to become the trusted brand in this space. So to anyone out there tonight who's on a career break that's not a career end, come join us. We have a place waiting for you in our community. And to our business owners and corporates in the room, we invite you to become foundational partners, to show your commitment to unlocking the diversity bonus for your organisation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not let skills go to waste. The key to higher profits and better outcomes are here, ready for their second act.
All right, so we're going to go to the questions now, and Alex, you know you're up first.
I'm ready.
Hello.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Julia. So, the most immediate thought that comes to my mind is why aren't they on the traditional, why aren't they going back to the workforce through the traditional methods across Seek and recruiters and whatnot? And certainly for us, as a tech company particularly, gender equality and making sure that we have lots of women coming into the workforce, and regardless of what state of their career, is super important. So I definitely love the idea and the name as well, and the pitch delivery, all super awesome. And just curious, what's the barrier that they're struggling, and how is what you're doing solving that problem or bringing them on that journey?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the question. The simple answer is because we don't exist. We have not existed yet, and we are the first of our kind. We're creating a place that will bring women back, because when you look at the cost of childcare, Mother Guild, the organisation that comes back to the workforce, skilled women aren't necessarily doing that just because there's a 9-to-3 job offered on a job board. They want to use skills. They want to come back for a career with impact. We've had employers like you saying to us, where are the mums? Why are they applying? And likewise, we've had women who haven't known that jobs like that exist. So we're providing the matchmaking service to bring them back together.
Great answer. All right, so maybe we should go to the woman on the panel for a next question. Over to you, Vanessa.
Yeah, I'm a mum of 4, so I get exactly what the challenge there is going back into the workplace. But I was able to start my own companies. They're quite different. But what I would say, looking at this and saying it's a double-sided marketplace, it's expensive to build both of those things at once. Where's your focus going to be in terms of, how are you going to get enough money to fund this to do both sides of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, to begin with, our focus was on actually obtaining the economic buyer of the product, which are the employers. At this stage, that's been founder time, which I've been very happy to do and been getting a great outcome from that. In terms of the female side of the marketplace, there are great avenues to reach them. So we're looking at podcasts in particular, have a wide network and can be done relatively inexpensively. More expensive options include things like the Mamma Mia network, but they have a very good and effective reach, and obviously social media campaign as well.
Great answer. All right, Andrew, take us home.
Yeah, probably piggybacking off Vanessa's question, because it is a two-sided marketplace. And maybe before I get to the question, like, fantastic pitch, I thought the delivery was excellent. My gut feeling from all of 3 minutes of hearing about it is that the side of the marketplace that might be hardest to focus on is the corporate side. Because I know talent acquisition teams are super busy. Like, when someone puts up a job ad, you get 2,000 sort of applicants, and it sounds like a big part of it is sort of really making sure the role description and everything is a good fit. So I'd love if you could just expand on how you're working with like corporates and their talent acquisition teams to make sure that what they're putting forward is a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there will obviously be human capital involved in that time and making sure these are the right employers. In terms of acquisition, there was obviously the wage gap data which came out this month, which was very enlightening, but it's really opening people's eyes to the fact they have to provide these options and they have to get this talent back on the corporate ladder. In terms of ensuring that the community aspect will also be somewhat of a glass door situation where you have women providing that real-time feedback. So if employers aren't providing the options they say they're going to, women talk.
That was a great way to end it, and a great pitch, Julia. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Julia. So I told you it wouldn't be boring, and we've got another exciting pitch lined up for you. So coming up is Lawrence, the founder of ChatStat. Now, Lawrence is the former sales director at a tech unicorn, originally from Michigan in the US, and started ChatStat while doing his PhD at UQ. When he's not running sales marathons, he's running actual marathons. So you know that Lawrence is going to be bringing this pitch home tonight, so please give it up for him.
Every founder's journey starts with an inspiration. This is mine. In March 2022, while doing my PhD at UQ, my cousin, who has Down syndrome, suffered severe cyberbullying. Fortunately for me, at the same time, I was I also had a mentor. She was teaching in the course with me at UQ. She was Australia's leading social media safety consultant, Kira Pendergast. I engaged Kira to find out what the issues were. Our findings: 1, child privacy. The current apps available aren't properly addressing child privacy. And secondly, ease of use. Even the most technical parents don't know how to use these apps. So, one of the other problems that we also found, apps don't even realize what's actually happening. So, what we're able to do you recognize any of these? ChatStat does. ChatStat's able to differentiate between harmless banter and harmful content. But how does ChatStat do that, you might ask? ChatStat does this through our AI algorithm monitoring only publicly posted social media content. So all we need is a social media handle, and we're able to be doing our monitoring. When we notice harmful content, we then send through an alert to the parent or school so early intervention can occur. Additionally, we operate on a SaaS-based sales model ranging from our free platform through to $180 per year for parents. Also, our school-based platform is $28.50, making it accessible to all schools and all parents. Now, we're protecting over 28,000 youth, starting from only 800 in September of 2022. We've grown to 28,000 as of today, and we're growing quickly. What underpins this growth is twofold. One, the need from parents for privacy and safety for their children, and secondly, the need from schools. New legislation across Australia and the US requires schools to be proactively taking steps to address cyberbullying and mental health. Otherwise, they face costly litigation. They have no choice. The time to act is now. Additionally, we have a strong total addressable market already existing of 11.7 billion, and this is quickly growing. Underscoring this is a strong team. Myself, with over 15 years experience in SaaS-based sales, and my co-founder with AI development skills and also a full-stack developer. Additionally, we've built a strong network over the years of our operations that we're able to leverage and help us, and unique data sets that we've built that are unavailable to any of our competitors. I'm happy to announce just this week we're awarded an Ignite Ideas grant by the Queensland government, underscoring the success that we've had. It's been a stressful 6 months of waiting, and there's much due diligence done, and so you have no idea how thankful I am. And it just goes to underscore, we're not an MVP, we're not a prototype, we're a fast-growing, global, and scalable organization. So I invite you parents, people who might be intending to be parents someday, please come speak with me afterward. I look forward to seeing how we can go on this journey together. Thank you very much.
So, different change of pace. How about we go to you, Vanessa, first up with a question?
Oh, okay. Well done, by the way. I'm actually chair of broker, so I get exactly why this is important from a corporate level as well. So, listen, I think my main thing, did you actually mention the revenue that you've done to date?
I did. So, year to date, we've done fiscal year to date, we've done 270K.
All right, next question. Let's go with you, Andrew.
I was just checking to Vanessa. That's my question, Gordon. Look, I think the space you're filling makes a lot of sense. Life360 was sued because they were disclosing millions of children's exact location details. And I think the angle of focusing on the compliance obligation that schools and others have makes a lot of sense. My question is, so you're saying you're focusing on only publicly posted
Correct.
material?
Yes.
Makes sense. We'll tick the box from a school perspective. As a parent and as a user of social media, I know that the sort of private comments and material is probably sort of a significant signal as well. How do you plan to, what's your stance there, where you could offer a better product to parents if you were to sort of also allow individuals to provide access to their own sort of feeds?
Yeah, so thank you very much for the question, Andrew. Great question. And by the way, we actually had the same PhD supervisor, Tim Cassell. So I've heard about you for a long time. So what we do is we've noticed that there's two main groups of parents. One, privacy-focused parents, okay, who don't want to be installing any invasive apps onto their child's phone. And exactly. And the other group of parents who want total protection for their children. And that's where we're actually noticing the biggest amount of growth. Because those apps they have right now, they're not able to monitor all the content that we were able to. So a lot of those apps are restricted to what platforms they're able to monitor, whereas we're not, because we're only looking at the publicly posted content.
All right, Alex, you're last up again.
Look, I had a similar question as well around sort of the privacy, or sorry, the private messages. But I guess my parents were probably in the school of just lock the shit out of everything. I don't even have a computer until about grade 12.
I'll probably do the same thing. So
yeah. So I guess maybe leading on from that, like, how effective do you think that approach is of simply the monitoring versus the blocking? And then is there a consideration to extend your product to also, I guess, be like, a bit of an internet safeguard for the children as well? There's obviously a lot of products that already address that.
Exactly, yeah. We'll always keep our options open for what's going to work best. So if that's what our customers are telling us that they want, we'll always keep that open as an option for us. But we'll still stay focused on the privacy angle as well. So even though we might expand into that option, we would always still have that privacy option strictly there, because that's our core audience that we want to focus on.
Very diplomatic answer, Lawrence. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Lawrence and Jack Sad. All right, so as always, we are shifting gears again on this next pitch, and we're moving into the hardware space with Brett, the founder of FireSaver. Now, Brett started out working with supercomputers in astrophysics, but now he's working on some problems a little closer to home. He worked as a professional engineer in building sustainable housing for over 20 years, and on the side, he just loves beekeeping, as you would expect. Give it up for Brett and FireSaver.
So, turns out that global warming's real. So what would you do? Let's say you were the building manager of this theatre. Where would you start looking for energy savings? That's the problem that I had working as an engineer, doing energy audits in buildings all around Australia. We get power bills, but we don't actually get a breakdown. We don't know where we're using our energy, which is pretty weird. And it also means that we don't know where to save energy. So I decided to find out. Hi, I'm Brett from FireSaver. It's a personal trainer for your building. It works in two ways, or it has two parts. Firstly, there's the hardware that sits in the switchboard and monitors all of your circuits continuously. Sends all that data off to the software, which takes all those millions of points and uses machine learning to work out where you're using your energy, which is good. Even more importantly, it can work out where you can save energy. This is real data. We've got a FireSaver right here monitoring our lights and our aircon and our hot water. We installed it for Naomi, the General Operations Manager, to help her save energy. So now she can get specific advice on exactly how to save energy. And she gets alerts if her solar goes down. And she gets public screens to enable her to demonstrate her environmental credentials. But so what? You might say, who cares? Well, I do, and thankfully, building managers do too. We've already installed 160 devices in Australia, and weirdly, 2 in France. The savings are pretty impressive. It's equivalent if everybody here took their cars off the road every single day. And we've managed to bootstrap with $400,000 in revenue. Because of clients. Our clients want FireSaver because it saves them money, and they also need FireSaver because of ESG and mandatory carbon reporting requirements. Right now, we're transitioning to a service model where we charge between $50 and $150 per month. Our channel to market is our existing customers who have hundreds more buildings nationwide and excellent networks for referrals. We also have partners in local governments and in industry. They're helping us expand into the 1.4 million buildings in Australia that can use this technology. And that's where you come in. There's always a catch. You probably work in a building. Most people do. Maybe you own a building. In either case, that building can save energy. So let's get started. We're offering 3 months free subscription tonight. Once again, my name is Brett. I'm the founder of FireSaver. Come and see me tonight and know your power.
Really to the point. I'm super excited to see what questions our judges have. Maybe this time we'll start with you, Alex. I see you picking up the mic.
I knew I was up. Hey, yeah, I'm sure this just immediately made me smile because it gave me flashbacks to childhood when my dad was there, pulling the washing machine out of the fridge with this little smart energy meter from the government, and then rouse on us all for leaving things running. So, from what I understand, this is targeting more commercial side rather than the retail. Not my question. I'm not with question coming. So, I'm quite curious where you have gotten the training data from to try and identify the various power inputs and whatnot going through the system. I'm curious how that. I guess how defensible that technology is, and obviously with AI, data is pretty much the only mode these days. How are you training these models, and where's that data coming from to inform the power consumption?
Yeah, thanks. That's a really that's an in-depth question. I'll try to address it briefly. The data comes from every couple of seconds we're getting thousands of data points. So we've been running for a few years, and the data essentially comes from real buildings. So that's where our training data comes from. And then what we do is essentially get my expertise as an engineer, and I'm the trainer for the data. That's encoded in the machine learning algorithm, and that can essentially reproduce that, those kind of recommendations. In terms of the defensibility, there's a few points, but very briefly, the main one is that the really large players here, for example, and I was worried about this, like Philips or Schneider or something, they're hardware companies, and we're not a hardware company. The hardware is actually a relatively small component. We're all about the software side of things, and that's where our true value lies.
Great answer, Brett. All right, how about you take up next, Vanessa?
All right, so mine's on the hardware. What is the cost of the unit and what do you sell it for?
Yes, so the cost of the unit is, the cost to us is about $1,500 installed, and we sell it for about $4,000 once it's been installed. And that is our existing business model, and that's enabled us to bootstrap till now. We're actually planning on reducing the price as we get in some new generation hardware, and we're going to get down below $3,000, which is the discretionary spend for schools and other businesses. And that's, as I mentioned, that's the plan, to take down that hardware cost and then move over to the subscription model so we can keep being involved in the companies and keep providing savings to them rather than a once-off hardware cost or hardware sale.
Getting into the numbers, I love it, Brett. All right, your last up, Andrew, take us home.
Great pitch, Brett. So I think I understand it's sort of the hardware unit plugs into the switchboard, And so the question is, like, if there's multiple appliances on each individual circuit, is there any ability to infer on that, and then sort of as a follow-up, in order to activate the energy savings that you were describing, does that then require manual intervention, or is there a view that one day the hardware, or even maybe today, the hardware could help sort of achieve some of the savings without requiring manual intervention from the building manager or whoever?
Yeah, thanks for those for that question, and it's an in-depth one. I'll break it into two. So we monitor per circuit. So that means if you have a fridge and a washing machine, you can't differentiate between the two without some smarts. We have the smarts, and the reason we can do that is because they each have a distinct kind of cycle, if you will. So you can do that to an extent, but the larger we go, the less that's a problem, because when you have a really big switchboard, you typically have aircon plugged in, one circuit, a big machine plugged in, one circuit. So to answer your question, yeah, you can differentiate them, not really well, and that's why we do every circuit. Then as to the automatic intervention, we specifically don't do that. So the plan in the future is to partner with people, and that's where the hardware suppliers of these kind of relays, etc., come in. So we're focusing on the data acquisition. So by itself, it doesn't save you energy. You put it in, it doesn't save you energy. What it does do is tell you exactly where you can save energy, and then at the moment it's a manual intervention, and so we tell Naomi, for example, and then in the future, when we partner with other people, we're looking towards automatic interventions.
Awesome job, Brett. That was so great. I hope you all go home and talk to your building managers about FireSaver. Thank you so much again, Brett. So next up, I think we're at like pitch number 6 now. I've lost track. Next up, we have the 2022 UQ Student Entrepreneur of the Year, Felix, co-founder of MindMuse. Along with his prestigious academic background, he also has a personal mission of helping 100,000 people by 2032, and you're going to find out how he's getting started on doing that with MindMuse. Give it up for Felix.
Most Australian businesses are operating illegally. The Work Health Safety Act has changed. Mental and social hazards, such as lack of support or high workloads, now sit alongside chemical spills and mandated emergency plans. Every 10 seconds, another Australian gets a workplace mental health injury, so it is not a question of if one is in breach, but when. We're all used to existing PPE, such as helmets and masks, but now we need something new. Hi, I'm Felix from MindMuse. We're a RegTech startup offering the compliancy for managers and the personal protection employee tool for just that. For managers, we de-identify, abstract, and analyze the employee tool data to build the risk register, documentation, and insights so that you as managers can stay compliant. For employees, we have a stigma-free personal AI companion. Here, we unpack this mental and social stresses at work and then go the step further using research-backed, tangible, personalized action plans. This tool to date has been used by 1,500 people. On top of positive testimonials and even donations, last year it got listed as one of the top 200 global AI tools. That's a big deal. Our competitor focuses on the manager side with a tech-enabled consultancy service. We are offering the PPE, protecting the employees and the business. For our first customer, the 11 companies in our pipeline, since the start of this year, this focus on both sides is a game changer. Fines go up to $1.5 million. Offering that compliance, we are charging small businesses $600 a month. For our current cold calls, Work Health Safety Partner Consultants already referring us to clients and industry referrals. We are well on track to 130 clients or 1 million ARR by the end of next year. But the opportunity is bigger. 4 countries share similar regulation, a $23 billion opportunity. For us, that equates to 40,000 people we could help each year, or 10 million ARR after 6 years. I've worked across 7 startups. My co-founder is the UQ student chief entrepreneur. Together we have 13 years of shared startup experience, all clinical and technical wizardry. Supporting us, even in this room, are 30 years of workplace psychological experience as auditors, consultants, and network enhancers. Our dream is to help people at scale with mental health. Our dream is to help you and your employees. Every business manager we speak to can lead to a life saved or months out of court. If that's you or someone you know, we want to talk for 2 reasons. One is we have an incredible webinar to get you up to speed with what you need to know. And secondly, if you come to us tonight, we can offer you 80% off as one of our foundational customers. The Work Health Safety Act has changed. And now with my news, we can protect you, your employees, your business.
Jack, his co-founder, on. And I think first up, maybe we'll go to you, Andrew.
Thanks for the pitch. I think, look, anything where it sort of addresses a sort of a painkiller versus vitamin makes a lot of sense from a sales perspective. It sounded like the business has been sort of running for a couple of months and sort of achieving a lot of traction was what I was getting from the slides. Which is awesome, but then the sort of other side of the sword in that regard is, what do you think stops existing sort of players in the space, particularly I think of HRIS vendors, where employee data, be it in the sort of S&B segment, Employment Hero, or be it Success Factors or Workday. What do you think stops them copying what you're doing and then releasing as a feature as part of their existing product suites?
Yeah, thank you for your question. And that aspect around defensibility is something we've worked quite a lot on. It's actually one of our personal strengths. I'll answer in 3 parts. Firstly, that employee tool we've built across a year with psychologists really refining aspects such as wording or support. So whereas a lot of those existing interfaces use a survey, which bring up, say, oh, my workplace is actually quite bad, it doesn't really transform it in that personalized care of action of what to do with that feeling. So that's the actual transforming of, okay, I've had a fight with my boss, I'm shy, how do I actually deal with it? That's where we do the difference there. So that's where we've incorporated research across 3 industries. One is the mental health digital space, which has grown quite a lot. 2 is the safety space. We've actually incorporated the Take 5 system, which is quite well known in the safety space. We incorporated it within the psychosocial space. And the third is just that, psychosocial research, 15 years of it, done by government, universities, which we've incorporated. Second point, which I'd like to mention, is going with our current referrals and contacts with the regulators. We're working on a pipeline supporting both them and businesses. So yes, a company could come in, but if you're not building that pipeline or supporting the employees and the business, they will struggle and just be just another survey tool. So that's the main points there, so I hope that helps.
Awesome. Vanessa, over to you.
Yeah, I just wonder, because there's so many apps that we're using in the workplace now, right? There seems to be one that has a great feature set, but again, another one we have to open. Do you have any plan to integrate into something else like Employment Hero or any of those other HR or employee apps?
Firstly, thank you for asking that, because that's a personal thing which I love rambling about. We are not another app. Apps have, especially workplace app, like a 2-week drop-off. It's like just a cliff where people stop engaging it with it. That won't help people. So for us, we are having our employee interface where people already are. For our first customer, that was simply a QR code in their lunch breaks. For others, that's on Messenger, with a messenger bot. Maybe Telegram, Slack, WhatsApp. Depends on the business. For the employer and the manager-facing side, it's going and understanding where do you already interact, what's your journey. So for example, monthly reports. We are not asking them to engage every day, but at least on a monthly basis, to do those 4 steps to remain compliant. Same on the employee side. It's not about a daily check-in that builds a drop-off, that builds frustration, annoyance. You're simply asking once a month, check in, provide the feedback, get the help you need. So that's the answer there. I don't like employee apps. They don't work. The research says they don't work. You have to be where people are.
Awesome. Alex, you're up last again.
Thank you. Potentially, maybe I'm not quite understanding the gap that this product is filling. If I look at my workforce, for example, we have mental health first aid officers, we have employee surveying tools, we have mental health support line provided to staff, we bring to the forefront things like, Are You OK Week, and like lots of these sort of things. We do, regular one-on-ones, and we have anonymous check-ins as well, and all this sort of thing. So I'm sitting here as a business owner thinking, I'm not sure I can understand the risk in my business that this tool is looking to solve. So maybe if you can expand on that a little bit more.
Of course. So just answering that, those are great. Those are what we call controls. That's one in the 4 steps you have to do to be compliant. So the other steps are that identification during those one-on-ones, a great way of collecting that data to do just that. Great. The next is the assessment. How are you going to assess the likelihood, the severity, and the actual risk? So we provide that, which seems like you have systems in place, but you're just missing a bit that gap to actually do the compliance piece, to build the risk register, to then be able to produce that and show that you are being compliant. The last is that evaluation. So for you, you may do that with your one-on-ones, but what are other ways? Since data shows that 68 to 80% of employees aren't willing to face up to their managers, but are to say, in our case, a chatbot tool, to do just that. Bring up the real what's happening, not just, I don't want to say that because I might get fired. So that's the gap we're bridging. Stigma-free, providing the 4 steps, identification, assessment, the controls, which is what you seem to have, and then the evaluation of showing, are those actually doing what they're meant to do across the 14 different hazards.
Really awesome job, guys. Everyone give it up again. To our co-founders. Thank you so much, guys. All right, so we are on pitch number 7, and we are going to be hearing from Young, co-founder of JoyDro. Now, Young is already a successful entrepreneur in his own right with a passion for fashion. Whether it is tutoring businesses or flipping sneakers, Young is giving it his all, and he's going to be giving it tonight in his pitch. So please give it up for Young and JoyDro.
Hey everyone, I'm Eon from JoyDro, and we're creating an automated virtual stylist for online fashion brands. Let's talk about Mark. He's friendly, competent, but absolutely a wreck when it comes to fashion. And you can't blame him. Shopping online can suck, especially when you're inundated with many, many options. In fact, many of us here today get lost in a vast ocean of fashion choices online, yet end up with nothing that truly sticks. This spins a larger story of unsatisfactory choices, impulse purchases, and the divide between consumers and retail offerings. At JoyDro, we believe that this is the single largest factor driving the industry's ESG failures, which is why we're building a transformative platform that creates targeted recommendations to improve customer satisfaction. We've also built Magic Mirror, which is a visualization tool that shows how users look in the items we've recommended. Let's take a look at the tech we've built so far. So we envision this being integrated on a retail site, and users simply enter some basic details about the style and context, such as the season, the preferences, and the events they're dressing for. In the backend, we generate this initial output of targeted AI recommendations, which is then put through the Magic Mirror model. So finally, the output, we have the items demonstrated in one cohesive outfit, along with an image and a justification for our choices. For retailers, this is a digital experience on par with shopping in person with a stylist. For customers, this is an experience that saves them from frustration and time, leading to a better shopping experience. So, we've achieved quite compelling results today, generating over 800 outfits in the past 6 months and experiencing a significant improvement in our output quality as seen on screen. So this has allowed us to launch our B2C within the next month, which will allow us to improve our AI through efficient feedback loops and ensure that our product is ready for our target B2B customers such as The Iconic and Maya. This initial B2C model will be monetized through commissions via our affiliation with Amazon, and our target B2B subscription play will unlock growth opportunities and scalability for our business. Here's our team. Our team is powered by William's proficiency in AI, Kelsey's technical expertise, and my experience as an operator. We share a vision where Droidrop transforms the way people shop, improving outcomes for both retailers and consumers alike. We're looking to get feedback from investors tonight, so if this is a product that interests you, we'd love to have a chat. To try a demo, scan the QR code above or meet us beside our banner after tonight's event. I'm Ian from Droidrop, and join us as we revolutionize the e-commerce experience. Thank you.
Amazing pitch, and those are some amazing sneakers. So I think our judges are probably super keen to ask some questions. Maybe this time we'll start with you, Alex.
Hey. Yeah, look, this is, again, a really relatable problem. I would say, certainly a reason that I avoid going shopping is around, just like having no idea what to actually buy other than a black t-shirt. I hear they're pretty safe. But I think just like Mark, probably the second reason that I pretty much never online shop is sizing. And Mark actually looked a little bit small in that wardrobe, actually, given his usual presence. So how do you guys address the sizing? Like, is there a sizing issue to solve here as well, or purely just around styling?
Yeah, absolutely. A really great question. We do recognize sizing as one of the biggest points of friction for customers when they shop online, especially for women's fashion. For now, this isn't a product where a space we're moving into yet, but by the time by the time we're playing in the B2B space, we will be looking at that. So in terms of semantic analysis of images, as well as taking into account the measurements within our product so that it's a comprehensive process and customers don't have to look elsewhere to get all the information they need to commit to a purchase.
All right, Andrew, how about you?
Yeah, I was going to say Alex stole my joke. It probably sort of fit the male stereotype that I just sort of find something and buy 10 of it, so I went for the black t-shirt. Alex, it's always the safe one. My question is around the monetization model. So sort of you had two sort of categories, one being B2C, which had an absurdly small TAM, and then you had B2B, which had an absurdly large TAM. Particularly because, like, if you look at some of the logos like Myer and others, like Myer, I think is only making basically $100 million profit if that. So your ability to extract there feels smaller. But you had a great sort of screenshot of an app where someone could choose between different merchants. And that feels like a really exciting avenue to explore. So maybe do you sort of see it only being sort of B2B as the way to scale, or are you sort of still exploring ways to sort of unlock more in that B2C space?
Yeah, great question. So it seems like you're referring to a screenshot like this. The reason why we are going down B2B instead of trying to scale something like this as much as possible is because fighting with fashion retailers for these clicks, so for the ad spend to get customers onto our platform before these retailers first, will be ridiculous. So we see ourselves as a long-term, as a B2B company serving customers globally, right? The model for our fashion can be tweaked for different geographies and even for individual retailers to suit their specific product catalog. So that's the reason why B2B is the easiest channel to market and the channel to market we believe will help us scale most efficiently. Yeah.
Okay, and Vanessa, last but not least.
Acting on the same line, yeah. Look, I know a lot of apps that have gone into fashion from the B2B side, and it's really tricky, right? Because they want a differentiation between each brand. You won't be able to go to a competitor, one that's too similar. There's a lot of challenges with that, but when you put up that, I was the same way, as soon as you put up that screen, that's really cool, right? If I have control of that and I put the brands in that I like, that is awesome, right? I can sit there and say, here's my outfits for the next whatever holiday or whatever it is, right? Unlike that model, I really think, just as a feedback more than anything, I think you should really look at how you monetize that. I think it'd been easier and more scalable than trying to go down the B2B route.
Any thoughts on that, Ian?
I definitely agree with you, which is why this is a market we've created. Our target market is marketplaces or large retailers that serve a bunch of different brands. We're not looking as much at brands that have very small product ranges because we don't believe that we can maximize our value there, right? I think our value is quite correlated with the size of the products that a company actually delivers. So essentially, the wider the product range, or the wider the companies they stock, the more value we can bring to them and their customers. For our B2C model, we'll definitely be offering a bunch of different brands. How that looks as we scale into B2B depends, but our actual AI model will be individual for each retailer to avoid competition, in the sense that they're trained specifically on their product reel, which is a database of all the products they have in stock, and based on what they want out of this product.
Awesome. I think jump back in.
I'm going to cheat. Throw one more question or comment here. And that was actually one of my other comment here that I wrote down was, if you are chasing this affiliate model, that's going to be incredibly expensive to be competing with the other retailers. So, building on the points from the other guys here, is that I wonder if there's a way where you can, not necessarily be competing to sell individual items and whatnot against these big guys, but actually looking to sell and generate interest around the actual product itself without sort of trying to be the competitor to the big guys. So I don't know what the answer to that is, but I'm definitely, it looks exciting, and I think there's a problem to solve there, and then maybe there's some middle ground between these two approaches that you presented here.
So if I've got you correct, are you suggesting monetizing the actual style service as an independent product?
Yeah, I think to that degree.
So we've actually validated within that space, in the sense that we've done a lot of customer testing on, hey, would you pay some sort of subscription for this product? I think the biggest hurdle we see with that is that most consumers don't currently pay for any kind of styling. And even if this is some kind of tech SaaS, it is an entirely new product category for mass market. So in terms of advertising that, we believe it will be tricky based on the customer conversations we've had. But it's definitely an avenue we've looked at.
I definitely think there's a lot more to explore there, and you guys are going to have a little brainstorm after this. But thank you so much, Eon. That was a really exciting pitch, and give it all up for So, we are getting to the pointy end of pitch night, and we're switching gears again. So I would love to introduce Chris from Australian Urban Growers. Now, Chris, when he's not saving the world or teaching students about the circularity of timber, which I'm not really sure about either, he is doing all things outdoors, kayaking, riding bikes, going on hikes. He's passionate about everything he does, and he's going to tell you tonight about his work with Australian Urban Growers. Give it up for Chris.
What do you imagine when I say the term vertical farming? Do you see ancient rice paddies in Vietnam, skyscrapers adorned in plants, or stacks and stacks of food growing in industrial sheds? For me, I see that vertical farming is a practice. It's the practice of growing living plants in breathing towers practically anywhere in order to improve the food system's impact on our planet. It's so significant that it's feeding and cooling cities across the globe. And our industry is growing towards a $38 billion market cap. It's growing 7% faster than traditional agriculture. So why aren't we seeing more of it here? Well, our sector, our industry is missing a foundation, and we need a teacher to grow. And us, we are that teacher. We can deploy vertical farms the size of a car park in schools anywhere. We then facilitate an education program where we teach students through clubs and classes, and we empower teachers through CPD training, enhancing the learning experience. This opportunity creates a connection between an emerging sector and an emerging talent pool. It gives students direct access to industry, inspiring their potential to accelerate sector growth. It's a great learning experience. It's industry-linked, and it's curriculum-aligned. It's practical, and it's increasing students' interest in STEM. The diverse skills gained through our program ready students to go forth and create impact in industry and for the community. And through our work, we're targeting over 70% of Department of Education's strategic goals. It's clear we're making a significant impact. This will give city residents the power to control their food future.
I think it was 20-something billion or something. I'm terrible with remembering numbers, but it seemed relatively low, I think is basically the point that I'm making. So what's that based off, and I guess build on the previous comments that you just made there. Like, it feels like this is schools is maybe not the path to commercial. It seems like a difficult path to commercialisation versus especially if the industry is growing, like you say, more aggressively than sort of traditional farming techniques. So just not quite understanding that approach and or that sort of market opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point to draw. Well, what I can say is that in places like New York and London, they've been driven by necessity to embed their food system within their economy. We still have the fortune of having arable land around us. However, we're facing more and more climate emergencies and food insecurity issues, as well as labour reforms that will drive a change in the price of our food. And so these industries, which have been established for a 10-year period overseas, the data through Grandview Research, that's not happening here yet. We do have an emerging commercial sector. However, we're still missing that entry-level education in order to drive people towards that. So we're looking to work to be that bedrock and help accelerate the total growth here.
All right, Andrew, take us home.
It sounds like it's a combination of sort of doing the vertical gardens and the education piece, and I think on the education piece, I'll need to sign up because I've got some vertical gardens at home with grow lights and everything, and I was really excited about it, and I've managed to kill all the basil and all the strawberries and everything. My question probably goes in a similar vein to Vanessa and Alex. my understanding is that sort of commercial vertical farming is just not yet at a sort of economic tipping point for some of the reasons that you mentioned, and maybe with sort of future changes that sort of tilts the other way. The school activity makes a lot of sense. My daughter's school does the Stephanie Alexander Gardens. You can sort of imagine that in inner city schools this sort of applies, but I think you said there's like 1,500 schools that you're targeting, $5,000 each. My quick math is that's 7.5 million, so probably just piggybacking. I'd love to understand what's the next industry that you think would be the early adopters to it. If, like education first, I get that, I can see why they'd sign up. Who would be the very next industry?
Yeah, so I guess I'll just preface by saying the nature of building any industry is that you do need to be able to teach your people how to work in the industry. The schools, well, schools have a mandate to be able to educate their students, and it happens we can teach across the curriculum. Now, this same education we develop for the schools, we plan to extrapolate so that we can roll it out in community sector. So we could be talking, and our immediate plans are in food resilience programs with food insecure communities. An example could be, we have an interest in working with people on Palm Island who are paying $15 for a lettuce that's travelled all the way from down here, and by the time it's there, it's gone foul. We can actually take the knowledge that we've generated through the metropolitan area and build out an economic development program there, which builds food security inside. Naturally, that flows on globally.
Awesome. Chris, thank you so much. I think we all enjoyed that refreshing change of pace. Thank you, Chris. All right, so I don't know if you guys can believe, but we're on our second last pitch. That has just flown by. So I would like to introduce you to Aiden from Learnable. Now, Aiden is a UQ Biomed student who was once banned from Etsy, and they didn't tell me why, so I'll leave that to your imagination. But Aiden and his co-founders have been hustling together since they were kids with their first startup, reselling cheese sticks, and now they're going to tell you about their current startup, Learnable. Give a big hand to Aiden.
Education is broken. Last month, the government released the University Accord, demonstrating a critical need for a more educated population. And yet, university enrollments are at a decade-long low. Today, students, more than ever, study from home, struggle with mental health, and work over 20 hours a week. And yet, we still learn and study in the same way we did 1,000 years ago. I'm Aiden from Learnable, and we're creating every student's AI study companion. With Learnable, students upload their course notes and gain instant access to digestible topic summaries, questions with feedback, and most importantly, a personalized tutor. Now, what if you work 20 hours a week and you don't have fantastic course notes? Well, that's not a problem, because we crowdsource high-quality students' notes so that no student is left behind. In short, Learnable is an AI study companion powered by note sharing. This is our key point of differentiation and defensibility. It also directly inspires our hybrid SaaS business model, in which some students can contribute course notes for access, and others pay a monthly subscription. In just 1 month, we have already crowdsourced over 80 courses worth of notes. In just 3 days of on-campus guerrilla marketing, we have attracted over 900 students ready to pay, with our beta tools already seeing organic growth. To top it all off, we have a confirmed integration with one of UQ's biggest courses. In Australia, there are just under 700,000 students who work over 20 hours per week. These are the students who are in desperate need of a solution. We charge $8.99 per month,
but with the viral rapid growth that we expect, we are on track to reach $1 million in annual recurring revenue by December 2025. Our goals do not stop there. Our vision is that by 2028, Learnable plays a role in every single classroom. Schools, universities, and tutoring centers alike. As 3 students, we bring the customer insight. We bring the technical capabilities. And most importantly, we bring the hunger to make a change in education. Everything you've seen tonight has been achieved in just 1 month. And that is the rapid innovation and fast pace that we absolutely need if there is to be any change in education. Finally, that brings us to you. Tonight, we are releasing the first version of Learnable. We know that 1/3 of you here are students, and as a thank you for your support, we would love to give you Learnable for the whole semester completely free. For the other 2/3 of you, we have pre-built 10 courses based on the 10 businesses who you've seen pitched tonight. Each course comes built with a fun little quiz to test your recall, and a personalized tutor that will answer any questions about each of the businesses. Finally, and most importantly, we want to let you know that your support and your contributions, they're not just a gesture to us. They're the underpinnings of what may be education for the next 1,000 years.
Questions, and we'd like your co-founders, Matt and Hawkins, to come on stage. All right. Great job, guys. Now, maybe first we'll go with you, Andrew.
I was just saying to Vanessa, I'm too cynical, I'm too close. But I scanned your QR code, so live demo, everyone.
Oh.
I asked your app for the Learnable team. I thought that would be appropriate. What is the TAM? And it was pretty good. So well done. And I think the product's great. And I thought it was also pretty brave getting up, Aiden, and saying education is a broken you event. I think the sort of K-12 and university systems got a bit of time left, and that won't change. But I do see the opportunity for AI tutoring being incredibly powerful. Like there's the Bloom 2 Sigma study back from the 60s. But my question is, and again, I'm probably too close to it, so I was talking to one of the executives at Pearson last week. They've now rolled out an AI chatbot integrated into every textbook. What do you sort of see as the mechanism to sort of combat or differentiate, I suppose, versus some of those really big incumbents, and it's a space where there's a lot of big incumbents?
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes right into why we're starting with university students, and they're in this weird place where, so textbooks are great, chatbots can be trained on large amounts of data, but frequently, even with ChatGPT, students will use it, it'll give them a great answer, they'll go implement it, and it'll get 0 marks because that was not the way it was taught in class. So that's why we're specifically building these pre-built courses. And the difference is not, this is a chatbot really great at mechanical engineering. This is a chatbot phenomenal at 3506 at QUT. And that reason students can use that, start going from 0 with their courses, and learn exactly the way they know they need to, and do much better otherwise.
All right, Vanessa, do you want to go next?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my head around the difference of using ChatGPT with all this sort of stuff or something similar. It sounded to me the value is really in the aggregation of the data, right? Yeah. So how you, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how you actually monetize that, because if you could build what you built in as short a time frame as a month, it's easy to reverse engineer that then. what's the business? I'm really trying to figure out what's the barrier to somebody else doing this tomorrow. And then I'm trying to figure out how you actually monetize the aggregation part more, like working with the university and getting them to pay for it rather than maybe students or whatever that is.
IP and monetization, boys.
Yeah. Well, so we're starting with that crowdsourcing approach with students, and we're all students, so we've been able to get those courses very, very quickly. And I guess the difficulty for large incumbents is that they can't just walk around campus like us. We know students, and we're collecting these courses really rapidly. So our key point of defensibility is that we have a large amount of courses, and we will have a growing course catalog. So we're going to be that first port of call for when university students need help with their content. And on that monetization piece, we're finding that students are very willing to pay once their course is ready to go. And we are looking in the future to partner with universities so that we don't even have to rely on that crowdsourcing piece.
Alex, you're up.
Thanks. Yeah, that's actually a really great takeaway to build into my question. There's a few points here, so pick whichever part you want to address specifically. But some thoughts come to mind around data reliability, hallucinations, gaining support of the university, and also does this mean that kids just start skipping classes? So, you know, like, there's a lot of points and questions there, so feel free to just pick which... Just pick whichever part of that you feel like addressing.
Yeah, so I'll address the concern about students skipping classes foremost. So what we found from talking to over 1,200 students is that a lot of where the idea of skipping classes comes from is just from being overwhelmed. So we know that students work over 20 hours a week now, and that's very common actually. The Universities Accord urges universities and tertiary education institutions to acknowledge and accommodate part-time work as a reality for students. So where the idea of skipping class comes from is really just not feeling like you're prepared, not feeling like if you go in you'll actually get value. So what we do is we try to bring down that course load so that students can better manage their time, and when they do go to class, because they'll be prepared to have a more productive time there.
Guys, I reckon you're going to get interrogated by Andrew later, but really great pitch, really great job. Everyone give it up for Learnable. Alright, it's the last pitch. So if you feel your energy going down a little bit, shake it all off. You're going to be having drinks soon. The last pitch for the night, lucky last, is Dr. Kira Buchanan, the founder of Recovery Metrics. Now, Kira is one of the most resilient founders you might ever meet. She left home at 16, put herself through uni and a doctorate, and has now found a really inspiring startup, Recovery Metrics, that she's going to tell you all about tonight. So please give it up for Dr. Kira.
At just age 15, Liv lost her life to a treatable condition, an eating disorder. Now, what if Liv's practitioners had been able to accurately predict the right treatment for her? What if they could have monitored her treatment progress and modified it to ensure its success? What if Liv had recovered from her treatable illness and was still here with us today? Instead, every 52 minutes, we lose another Liv. Hi, I'm Dr. Kira Buchanan, and as the owner of an eating disorder treatment centre, I wondered, what if we use technology to ensure that treatable conditions actually got effectively treated? Through providing my practitioners with the tools necessary to proactively monitor their patients' progress and make data-driven decisions, our treatment outcomes improved by 160%. Now, at Recovery Metrics, We're putting these tools in the hands of all mental health practitioners. Our system integrates with practices' current workflows and management systems. It then aggregates and analyses data from a variety of inputs and visualises it in real time. You can think of us as the Google Analytics of mental health care. Then, using machine learning, we can ensure that treatment is personalised, precise, and above all else, life-saving. The potential for this is enormous. We're starting with the treatment of eating disorders in Australia. And with 720 million people affected worldwide, we know we have a global opportunity. But we won't stop there. Our application will be expanded to the treatment of anxiety, depression, psychosis, and the many other mental illnesses that collectively affect over 1 billion people each year. Our 3-tier subscription model caters to solo practitioners through to large hospital and health services. In the 5 months since our inception, we've acquired a growing waiting list without any marketing spent. We have several letters of intent signed from group practices, and we're currently on track to sign 2 enterprise agreements in the next couple of months with leading hospital and health services. We predict early and rapid adoption. We're forecasting over $1 million of annual recurring revenue in our first year. Our team is the heart of our platform. Our subject matter expertise, technical skill, market access, and lived experience give us an unrivaled advantage. But we need your help. If you or someone you know can help us scale and reach the Olivias of the world more quickly, please connect with us. Sign the QR code or come and introduce yourself to us tonight. I'm Kira, and together, let's ensure that treatable conditions actually get treated. Thank you.
That was a very inspiring pitch for a very inspiring problem. I'm super keen to hear what questions our judges have. Maybe we'll start with you, Vanessa.
Just on the data input side, because I'm assuming it's voluntary from the patient themselves.
Yep.
So we've got to rely on the fact that they're going to be honest with the information they're putting in there if we're relying on predictive, right?
So one source of data is psychometric measures that, yes, patients would be completing themselves, but we're also collecting data from the practice management system or the electrical record system that practitioners are entering data into. And then we have other objective measures. So with the treatment of eating disorders, we have medical measures that the GP will be collecting on a recurring basis. And in instances that it's appropriate, the restoration or stabilisation of body weight. So we're collecting data from a number of different sources.
Awesome. Alice, do you want to go next?
Yeah, thanks. That's definitely an inspiring issue to be addressing, and great to see taking your own experiences with that and then building technology on top of it. I think that's always you see most successful businesses, that start from that, right? Having a deep understanding of the problem. So that's really awesome to see. Having said that, I'm not particularly across how that treatment process works, and I think I'm in a similar boat in terms of trying to understand how is the tool actually using the technology. You had a very powerful line in there, a very clear line, which was the Google Analytics comparison. So can you maybe expand a little bit more on what is the tool providing or enabling to the practitioners that they're not getting from their own notes and just assessing the patient traditionally, I guess?
You know, that's a great question. Thanks for that, Alex. So I guess traditionally practitioners aren't collecting data, or if they are, it's one data point compared to another data point, rather than being able to see the whole picture and without being able to compare to other populations or other practices. To answer your question around like the Google Analytics component of it, so our practice software has built into it the literature gold standards around how someone should be tracking through treatment for an eating disorder, and it flags to the practitioner if this person isn't tracking as expected according to gold standard literature. Obviously there's some limitations with that, in that literature is collected from previous periods of time or sample sizes that aren't quite relevant or applicable. So with machine learning, we're going to be able to develop larger language models to be able to have more predictive data for a variety of different patients and presentations.
Awesome. All right, last question for the night. Andrew, you got this.
Great. Really important topic and great presentation on it, and I'd agree with the comments that the sort of depth of your experience in it, I think, sort of shows in the product that's been built. You were sort of saying you're integrating in with sort of different systems to pull in the data, which I think makes a lot of sense. And just from a go-to-market perspective, I was interested in how you're planning on doing that. Is it a case of reaching out to the practices, or have you sort of had any conversations with say practice management software that might be a channel to market? I'd love to understand the go-to-market plan.
Yeah, thank you. Great question. So we've already spoken to 150 eating disorder practitioners who have all told us that they've already been looking for a solution like this, but not been able to find something. So we have a waiting list of practitioners who are signed up already. Having worked in quite a niche space myself for a period of time, I have direct market access to most of the major eating disorder and health services in Australia. So our main sales strategy for our first at least 30 to 50 practices will be me directly contacting those practices. And so far we've gotten really good early and rapid adoption from those who we have contacted.
Amazing. All right, that was so good, Dr. Kira. Last pitch of the night, give it up for the method. Oh my gosh, and that's it. They are all the pitches for the 2024 ilab Accelerator. So let's give it up one more time for all our founders. Let's meet you in the green room. So the judges definitely have their work cut out for them. But in the meantime, while they're deliberating, we are going to hear from my good friend, Mr. Nimrod Clayman. I'm sure you all know him. He is the head of entrepreneurship at UQ. He drives ventures, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about their work. Give it up for Nimrod.
Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. And hello, everyone. My name is Nimrod Clayman. I'm the head of entrepreneurship at the University of Queensland. Firstly, congratulations and thank you to all our teams tonight. Can we give them another round of applause? As Ashley mentioned, the judges tonight do have the work cut out for them. The pitches we have listened to require many phases of iteration, from core proposal to market research and understanding through the validation of their ideas. I want to congratulate our founders on their tenacity, dedication, and determination to create cutting-edge innovation. As I'm sure you'll agree, these are ambitious, bold, and inventive startups that are emerging from across our UQ community and Queensland. The cohort now join the 300 plus alumni who have gone through the ilab program and the baptism of fire that is Pitch Night. Well done, you did it. You have shown us all that you are more than ready to take on the market and make an impact. Let's give them another round of applause. So Professor Terry mentioned the UQ vision of knowledge leadership for a better world in her welcome. And that is something that I get to witness every day in my job. We are determined to provide as much practical support as we can to our entrepreneurs so they make a difference in their roles. I'm so very proud of the entrepreneurship and the ideas that are supported through ventures at UQ. And I want to take a few minutes to talk through some of our recent highlights. You might know that this accelerator is one of the longest running in Queensland, and since UQ took it on 2012, we have seen 18 cohorts take part with over 250 startups in the program. 1,500 jobs have been created and over $213 million in capital has been raised. I see that Ventures is reflecting the entrepreneurial spirit of our community. We are bold and adventurous too, and we are working together to find opportunities and solve challenges that continue to create positive change locally and globally. It is always amazing to see the founders that have continued the journey after ilab Pitch Night. As our MC, Ashley Baxter, mentioned, she was part of the 13th cohort of ilab. What she didn't mention was the incredible effort and success she has had off the back of this, securing multiple rounds of funding as well as successfully securing investment from UniQuest Extension Fund. Let's celebrate Ashley. While we are celebrating, let me share some other updates from our past ilab successes. First, Graphic et al., who are here in the audience, which creates scientifically accurate graphics and animation in minutes, has joined StartMed, and they are also launching a pilot with the National Health Service in the UK. Raidpoint, also in the audience, the world's first ever augmented reality rock climbing guide app, has seen over 10,000 users since December, primarily based in Australia and the US, with the app launching in Europe by April. Vacate, the audio storytelling platform for blind and low vision tourists, can now count on partners like Accor Hotels and Dreamworld. They also won Best Culture and Heritage Innovation globally at the World Summit Award. Of course, there are more success stories, some that we have included in tonight's program. You can also see all the startups that have gone through ilab on our Ventures website. The theme of growth and success isn't limited to ilab though. With Ventures at UQ, we have had a number of significant wins that I want to share with you tonight. 2023 was a big year for our students, with a record of 15,000 students engaged in entrepreneurial activities across UQ and more opportunities than ever before for students to connect with our programs. These activities have encouraged and inspired UQ students to explore the entrepreneurial ecosystem from a foundational level through driving forward into advanced incubator and accelerator programs. We have seen record attendance for programs in 2023 across established core student programs like Curiosity, Lead Hairs, and Validate. Ventures has also increased our reach across all activities with greater participation at UQ events such as O Week and our new Startup Showcase, as well as activities like the Ventures Pop-Up Workshop on campus, hackathons, open mic nights, networking events, and breakfast with angels at our Venture Studio in Long Pocket. Ventures has also collaborated more than ever with UQ's faculties and institute to enhance the UQ student experience. And we have introduced a sustainability program in partnership with UQ Sustainability. This program is designed to support our UQ students to explore the world of social enterprises and gain the knowledge to integrate UN Sustainable Development Goals into their ideas or businesses. Linked to our student initiative and our focus on growing this spirit and acumen at UQ is an exciting piece of news that we have announced in the last months. It's regarding one of the founders from Tonight Pitches. We recently appointed our 7th Chief Student Entrepreneur at UQ, Jack Fenn, the founder of MindViews. Let's give him an applause. In Jack's role as Chief Student Entrepreneur, he aims to empower non-traditional founders to pursue creativity and innovation, to share and learn with UQ students who are beginning their startup journey, as well as to support our aspiring innovators with mentorship and community insights. I believe that Jack's compassion and proven leadership qualities will inspire new students to participate in entrepreneurial activities at UQ. Joining Jack in the Venture student team are 8 Ventures ambassadors who represent their faculties to promote entrepreneurship initiatives broadly, help run community events, and engage with new students at UQ. Some of the ambassadors are here tonight as well, and I'm proud, here they are, and I'm proud, very proud of your commitment and enthusiasm to supporting and inspiring our students. Thank you for the ambassadors. So another student program that I'm very proud to see is driving the startup focus forward is the Startup Adventures. If you don't know and you heard from Debbie, these adventurers are 4-week learning experiences specializing in innovation and entrepreneurship. Selected UQ students get to learn firsthand from a connected global innovative startup community. Sounds great, right? And it's all fully funded by the university. So far, since we started in 2016, 300 students have been on a global startup adventure, and in the past year, we have shipped UQ students to Vietnam, San Francisco, and Singapore. And this year, for the first time since COVID, we are returning to Shanghai and also to Shenzhen. So while the judges continue to deliberate on the pitches from tonight, and it's a tough job, let me update you on a couple of other programs that you heard tonight. It's the Momentum Accelerator, funded by Queensland Investment Corporation, and the Empower Accelerator, which is focused on female founders. Just checking with the founders, with the judges. They're all good. Okay, that was quick. So, all of these really encouraging signs for me, as I see our activity support and initiative are highlighting our progress to become one of the leaders of entrepreneurship in universities in Australia. With this in mind, I want to share with you that this year we're offering a second ilab chapter. This is a very exciting opportunity for UQ and Ventures to continue to scale our program, and application will open, as we do that in Ventures, tomorrow. This second chapter will also allow us to welcome 2 new entrepreneurs in residence. Abby Cameron, co-founder and CEO of Nourish, and Angus McLaughlin, co-founder and head of growth at Vocal. So, if tonight has inspired you, remember to keep an eye out for the launch of our second ilab chapter application for 2024. So, excellent. So we can present programs like ilab a night like tonight through the support of mentors, donors, partners, and our network of professionals within UQ and in the community. There are a few people in particular who I'd like to thank tonight. First, I'd like to thank our entrepreneurs in residence, Zoe Black and Mark Orchard. Thank you for your tireless dedication, your guidance, and vision. Let's give him a round of applause. So secondly, I want to thank our judges, Anu Barnes, Vanessa Gerard, that show up in no time, and Alex Harper. You have heard about the People's Choices Award tonight as well. And your vote counts. Your vote will have a direct impact on our startups and the shared prize money they receive. So do you like what you heard? And are you ready to vote for your favorite? Yes. Does everyone have a coin? Excellent. So make sure that you have your Purple Ventures token and drop your Ventures token into the chosen startup box outside in the court in the stand with the founders. A big thank you to Jason and Tanya Titman and Daniel Wissels for their cash prize donation for the People's Choice Award, and not for the first time. The winner of the People's Choice Award will be announced over the coming days, so make sure you are following Ventures through our media channels to find out who got the nod from the crowd here tonight. We appreciate everyone who has joined us to celebrate this milestone occasion for the founders. And we urge you to keep in touch so you can find out about upcoming programs, hackathons, events, and more activities that we do. But before we really conclude here, I want to take a moment to acknowledge my team, the Ventures team. Which the level of passion is truly inspiring. Their dedication, creativity, and endless commitment have been instrumental in driving our success. I'm immensely grateful for each member's contribution and the collaborative spirit that defines our team. Thank you all for your hard work and determination. And the team is Tyson, Beth, Tomas, Chloe, Hong, Jackie, Fee, David, Mayu, and our last coming, Yas. So now, please help me to welcome tonight all the teams back to stage. Everyone's ready? Excellent. Very proud to announce that in the third place in 2024 ilab Pitch competition is Joydrop. For the second place, I'm pleased to announce that the winner is Flashback. And now, ilab 2024 Pitch Night is Explainable.
Thank you all so much for coming, and make sure you use hashtag ilab 2024. And that's it until next year.
Excellent. Thank you.